Structures in Swift language are very powerful and very similar to classes, with the main exception that classes are passed, for instance, to functions by reference and structures by value, but everything else is almost the same. Here we have simple example of structure. With keyword struct, we create structure titled circle with center, x, y, and radius, and even we can have method, except for properties. We can have methods in our structures, and this method just calculate area of our circle. I have to use keyword self to refer to properties in the structure. And in the line here, we create the structure, which is my circle, and the parenthesis here means this is basically a kind of initializer, which we call member-wise initializer. So we initiate our structure this way. It's not explicitly, this initializer is not explicitly here in this structure, but in general it is, and we will see how it can work in a minute. So in this line we create our variable, which is structure titled circle, and we assign values to our properties, of our structure. And at the last line we can use method with the same way, using the same operator dot, but we have to use parentheses to show that we call method. So if we assign values for center of our circle and radius, obviously for area radius is only important, this method will calculate the area of the circle for this radius here. Actually, we can initialize at the time of creation of our structure, we can initialize this structure with some values this way. In the parentheses here, we write the properties and value for every property. And we can forget this because values of our properties are initialized here. So there is a kind of initializer, as we can see. For this reason, these structures are very similar to classes, but not that much advanced in a way. But what we need to know is how to assign values to properties in structure, which is described here. And that to call the methods of our structure, we have to use operator like for properties dot operator, but method, after method we have to use parentheses. In this example here, I initialized my circle structure with values for properties here, and then I overrode the properties with values in the 3 lines here. So it doesn't matter because I can modify property values even if they are initialized. I can modify them later unless they are not constant, obviously. This is basically the basic knowledge we should have before we start using structures. This is really basic because structures can be more complex, but this is enough to start using structures.